Hi everyone, Helen here. Welcome back to the channel. So I bought myself two lovely sets of ZIG Real Brush Clean Colour markers. And I bought the 90 set and the Colour Set A, the 30 set. So here they are. I've taken them out of their sort of outer box and I'm in the process of organising them into a colour order. So what I do first of all is I swatch all of the colours just in the order that they are in the set. These ones were in this order, and you can see that it's kind of not really logical. Everything's all over the place. There's a purple here, a pink purple here, a pink red purple there. It's not how I like to have my colours. I like to have them in a kind of a colour wheel order. So what I do is I swatch them out like this, and then I've cut apart all of each of the colour swatches, and I've laid them out in what I think is going to be their sequential order. Now this is a process that can take me 2 or 3 goes to get exactly right. So I've now gone from here to some watercolour paper and then swatched all of these colours out. And I can see from my swatching that some of these colours are not in the right order. So this pinkish, this one should be after this one, this orange should be up here. These yellow pinks, which might be a little bit hard to see because they're very light, should be closer up underneath this one. There's quite a greenish grey, which I would prefer to have over in the green. So there's quite a few colours that are out of order. So what I'm going to do next is cut up this chart and put them into what I think will be my final order and create another chart and hopefully come back with a beautifully sequenced colour chart for you to have a look at. So my next stage in the process was to have a look at that first chart I created that I thought was going to be the correct colour order or close to it. And you can see I've cut it up and moved it around quite a bit. So I haven't had to cut all of the sections, just the bits that did not seem to flow in the right order. So this is going to be my final colour flow. And I'll probably find as I'm doing it on the finished charts that there'll be bits that I could have moved around or maybe think would have worked a bit differently. But colour's really difficult at times because when you think like a colour like this, I think this appears as I'm looking at it in this position to be more orange. But if I actually move it up above the orange and see it next to the peach colours, I can see it really has a lot more red in it. So it's a bit difficult. If I compare it next to the O2 one, I can see it's a lot more orange. So in the end, this is the position that I'm putting it in. It's never a perfect system and everyone sees colours differently, but this is how I approach it. And you know, it doesn't really matter in the end. I just want something that flows nicely. So I know where to find the yellows when I'm looking at the charts. I know where to look at the greens. I'm not going to find, you know, a green over here, a green over here. And now I've got my final colour chart. So that will sit in my swatch book. I'll just move it sort of along like that so you can see most of it. I have all of my most used swatches in this book, which is just held together with some plastic rings so that I can alter it as I need to. And I have all of my pencils, my watercolor pencils and my watercolors, because these are the tools that I use all the time, and these swatches will go in there as well. I've also numbered them. I'll put a shot in here so that you can see it, why I've numbered them like this into groups of 1, 2, 3 onwards to 16. And that's because of how I store my pencils, well, my markers actually, so that I can access them easily and even put them away easily. I have them in a vertical storage, which is in groups of sort of from maybe 6 to 10 pens in each little pigeonhole. And if I have them marked like this, it means I can quickly find where I've put each colour. And also when I'm putting them back, I like to have things that are easily accessible. I don't want to be messing around. I just want to be able to find things fast. And that's also why I numbered the pens as I showed earlier. The other thing I'd like to show you is how I'm using these markers. So these markers are very new to me. I just got them the day before yesterday, so I've had them for 2 days, and I spent the first day swatching them. And the reason I got onto them straight away, because I'll often buy supplies and won't use them for a little while or swatch them out, was I really wanted to use them on this page that I'd started. I'd only done a base coat of the bricks on this page. So I use a lot of watercolors to base and to give me a feel for how I'm going to lay out the colors in a page. So it's almost like, it's kind of a base coat, but it also gives me an idea of whether the colors that I've chosen are going to work. So I go in quite lightly and just get a feel for how I want it to look, if it's going to work, whether I need to make any changes before it's kind of impossible to do so because the watercolors are often quite transparent and I can come over with different colors or a different medium if I need to. So the other reason I bought the colors is I actually use my Staedtler pigment pens a lot. I love to use these mostly to come in after I've laid down some color and to strengthen shading in certain areas. And I hope that these watercolor markers will be able to do the same thing, particularly with the darker colors. It's just a really good way, I find, to add that extra depth of shadow towards the end of a coloring. So I don't know how clear it will be, but on the right side here, I've just based. And on the left side, I've actually started to come in just on the buildings. I haven't done anything with the windows yet, but adding extra shading with pencils. So basically the markers have allowed me to kind of map out how I want the colors to sit. And if I'm happy that they're working, then they form the lightest shade mostly of the colouring that I'm doing. And I'll start to come in with my darker shading to give definition to it. So the flowers have been done practically all with the watercolours. I used 3 shades on here and then just came in with a little bit of white pencil and some darker pencil just to add a bit of strength to it. So I'm really excited about the possibilities of these. I think they'll be a fantastic tool for me to use in my colouring books. And you can see on the back here, nothing has come through. It hasn't really warped the page at all either, though I haven't used a lot of extra water. I've used a little bit on a brush to, particularly on the bricks when I was adding the shading with the watercolour pens. But yeah, really good, really not a lot of damage to the paper, which I'm liking. All right, that's it. I hope you found it useful. I use this technique to organise all of my pencils. Anything that I've got that's a big group of colours and I need them in some kind of system, this is the process that I follow. I hope you found it enjoyable and it gave you a little bit of an idea of how you might like to organise your colours perhaps. And I'll see you next time. Bye.